why are men not approaching women anymore? And I have two basic reasons that I want to basically highlight. But first, I want to say one thing, gentlemen. There are women that are watching us. There are women that are watching my channel. There are women that are watching MTR. There are women that are watching Coach Greg Adams and all the other men out there. The manosphere is being watched by women. And I think there's a slow comeback, a slow understanding. And the reason I know this is because I had another great booking with a woman this morning, a black woman. Yes, I've had a few. But this lady this morning was amazing. She's married. And she was calling me because she wanted to be proactive. Her relationship is going okay, but she wanted to make sure that she don't make any mistakes on a big life decision that her husband made. And it made me feel good that here's a woman who understood the logistics and understanding of what will keep her marriage intact. And she wanted to make sure she wasn't making any mistakes. But the reason I tell you this is because she reassured me that her and a few of her other black friends, females, are watching and learning. And I was like, wow. And I said to her, you all need to actually start coming together and creating more podcasts that will make other women understand the bullshit that they're following. Because there is a reason men are not approaching women, but it is because today's modern women are not approachable. They have that rest and be face, or men just don't want to take the chance with certain types of women. So that's what we're going to get into today, my friends. Why are men not approaching women anymore? And I know you've seen a few of these videos online. They're all over TikTok. Women are starting to scream even louder because I think a lot of men have pulled back significantly. But I want to go into more depth with the reasons because a lot of women still do not understand the reasons why men are not approaching. They still seem to be stuck in this, oh, men are intimidated, men are scared. But like I mentioned to this lady this morning, you're not asking why. Why is it that the men are scared? Why is it that the men are intimidated? If that's the case, okay? So like this video on the way in, my friends. Let's listen to this lady first, and then we'll take it from there.
So we're living in a world right now where men want to approach women, but are confused because there are a group of women who want men to approach them politely, as a gentleman, introduce themselves. Then there's this other whacked out contingency of women who would literally scream at men in public if a man just politely came over and said hi.
And there lies the problem. Men don't know whether they're going to be called creeps, stalkers, stay away from me, etc. Not every man is 6'3", square jaw, six pack, freaking Chad or Tyrone. That's just a gorgeous Adonis of a man. Those men only comprise of the top 20% of men, if that high. The rest of us, the 80% of us, are the minority group. So ladies, how do you cure this problem? You have to get out there in mass. In mass, meaning there has to be more than 20% of you who are online talking about men who don't approach, who blah, blah, blah. Whatever channels you have, ladies, whatever audience that you build, you have to get out there and say to all the other women, stop this shit. It is hurting us. All it takes really is 10 to 15% of women who change their position to change the others. The problem that you ladies have is it might not be the large majority of you that are out there insulting men, condemning men, but those people have the loudest voices. So if ladies like this one, if they would multiply by 20%, then you would have more women who are saying, hey, we got to stop this shit. There are good men out there and we're scaring those good men off and we want men. We want our men back. And you have to do that consistently and loud and aggressive as the women who are crying down the men so that your voices can drown out those disgusting women who are condemning all men. That's the issue. This is what I told this woman this morning. She needs to start getting other black women who have lost a large percentage of their men to other races, to men who just said, I ain't not getting back into the game. men who've gone overseas, these are the largest percentage of the group of men who have left the black woman alone. Black women are the lowest of the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to dating and relationships. Ladies, you have to realize that there is a reason for that. So if you're not being approached by your men, it means that the product, you are the product. If someone walks into a store to pick something up off the shelf, that thing is the product. If the man has to approach you to make the initial move, it is the equivalent of the person walking into the store to pick the product. So if the customer don't like the product, that means there is a problem with the freaking product. You all have to see this in its simplicity, for Christ's sake. So you can't get out here and scream, oh, men aren't approaching us and they're scared and they're intimidated. Why are they scared and intimidated? Why? What is it that has caused this? No man wants to be humiliated. No man wants to be humiliated on TikTok, online, canceled because he's a creep, he's a stalker, blah, blah, blah. No man wants to go through that shit. Not in today's environment. No man wants to lose his job or to be on a featured video on freaking TikTok. No man wants to be in that position. Is he scared? Yeah, he's scared of being humiliated. Is he intimidated? It depends on what you define as intimidated. Every woman thinks that she's so gorgeous that she's intimidating men. That isn't the case. Men are not intimidated by beauty. Men are intimidated by being humiliated. No man wants to be humiliated in public, so he's not taking that chance.
So because men have seen this all over the internet, these videos of women publicly humiliating men who are doing really nothing other than just coming over and saying hi, they are not coming up to anybody. So this is why women who want men to approach them in the wild are wondering, why aren't men coming over to me anymore? Like, what's going on?
So
why you have to ask that? Seriously, I just don't understand. You identify that there's a problem. Why are you asking the question of why these women are asking why men aren't coming over? It's as simple as 1 + 1 is 2.
So what I encourage people to do is just always have an open energy.
All right. You hear what she just said? So what I encourage people to do, it annoys me and frustrates me when women don't call each other out by gender. Women never say what I would like women to do. They always say, here's what I want people to do. It's not people that you're talking to, my dear. It's women. Call the freaking problem by its name. It's almost like we're in a Harry Potter freaking story where we're saying, oh, he who must not be named. Is that the expression when they're talking about Voldemort, the dark wizard? You don't want to say his name just in case he comes back and destroy you. Women don't want to call each other out. It's freaking frustrating and stupid to hear. You all have to say the word. It's women, not people. And yes, I know I get the freaking plural and singular versions of woman and woman intertwined. It's part of my Caribbean dialect. I don't even know I'm doing it until you guys mention it in the freaking comment section. Please stop doing it. It's just part of my speech. I cannot avoid it. It's just as bad as my accent sometimes. Okay? Let's hear what else she has to say.
You want to be smiling. You want to be open and friendly and positive. Magnetic.
Yeah, she ended there quite well. If a woman ain't smiling, men gonna automatically think that this woman is not approachable. And here's a tip for you ladies. Here's a really good tip. Even if you don't like the guy that is approaching you, still be freaking friendly, be nice, because you just never know. If you're nice to this guy and you just simply say, hey, you're not my type, the guy will either say, okay, no problem, but he would probably refer you to one of his friends, right? If he's extremely polite. But most of the time, especially back in the day, that was an invitation for the man to try harder and for the woman not to look easy. But in today's environment, that's difficult to freaking decipher because every woman thinks that she's the freaking 10 and that man should try harder regardless, whether she's a hoe or not. It's confusing times. So he don't know whether he should push harder, be persistent, or he should just say, hey, no, okay, thank you. just thought you were beautiful, and move on. And that's the problem. Most men just don't know how hard he should push or whether he should instantly back off. In today's environment, every man will instantly back off. He's not interested coming up on any charges for stalking, harassment, getting screamed at, getting caught on some video trying to be, because he's not a 666 guy. So he'll back off. As long as you ladies understand that the reason why the man instantly backs off is because you have created an environment where it is not conducive to being more aggressive or forward, and not think that the man is a coward. If he's a player, he's going to push. If it's a guy that's not used to talking to women and, not used to being in the game, he's going to be very timid. It took a lot for him to come up. So now the first pushback, he's going to pull away. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. Boom. That's how every man should react.
So I just left the gym. Well, actually, I just left Whole Foods because I was grocery shopping. But I think I saw like the hottest guy I've ever seen in my life at the gym. And I was working out and he was like staring at me. And he was actually like down the treadmill, like 2 treadmills down. So then like I got off the treadmill and I went to the sauna, and then I saw him again. He came to the sauna. The whole time he was like staring at me and he did not say one word. And I'm just like, are you gonna say anything? Like, and I'm not like the kind of person to like approach or talk to a guy first. I know like a lot of girls do that. I just can't. Maybe that's why I'm still single. But men, like, seriously, if you're gonna like stare, like, why don't you say something? Like, what is wrong with men these days? Like, they'll stare at you, but they won't say anything. It's just so weird to me.
These are the cases that frustrates me the most. And this is how women confuse themselves. They go to the gym in these freaking bras. Now, this is a bra. I don't care how you cut it, how you freaking define it. It's no sports bra, blah, blah. It's a freaking bra. 60% of our titties are hanging out the top. A man is going to freaking look at you. Now, you need to ask yourself, ladies, I am dressed very revealing. What type of attraction do I want from that man? What type of attention do I want from that man? That man was probably looking at you because he's horny. And he knows that you're overweight. He knows that, you know what? I'm going to look at the titties, go home, rub one out quick, versus approaching her and getting freaking rejected. Those are his two choices. Which one do you think he's going to take? Because you're already exposing 50% of what he wants to see on you. And more than likely, if you have a top on like that, you'll probably already have on a skin-tight freaking leotard, spandex, active wear, whatever the hell they want to call them below. So he's already seen the outline of your ass, most of your titties. What else does he need from you? Get humiliated by you who thinks that you're freaking hot shit because that's how you dress? Or get a visual, go home, rub one out, you're a distant member tomorrow. In other words, ladies, be careful about how you present yourself in public, because if you're just literally looking for a man's attention and you want sexual attention, that's one thing. But bear in mind, you're going to attract men who will only approach you from a sexual perspective, not a relationship perspective, because that's how you've presented the package. If I see someone dressed like a hoe, or I see someone dressed like a decent, traditional looking woman with things covered up, but she's nice and she's smiling, which one do you think I'm going to find attractive for a relationship versus a quick hit? Yeah, it's not rocket science. But I can assure you, lady, that the reason why that man never approached you is because he never saw beyond the sexual part of you. So all he did was soak it in. And I'm going to be a little bit crass, but ladies, you have to understand how men think. He literally just placed you in his spank bank. I know it sounds... Listen, you're here because you want to understand how men think. He's just placed you in his spank bank, and that's where you will remain, because that's how you presented yourself. That's how you present yourself to the millions of people here on TikTok. It's no different than in the gym.
You know what's so fucked up? All I see on my For You page or TikToks is of women talking shit about men. About men, how they don't do, how they are. And it's true, like the generation of men has, like the quality has decreased. But have you thought of the why?
Number one, the quality of men have not decreased. Women's expectations have gone up because you keep feeding each other bullshit online, telling each other about how great each other are. Men online in your DMs are telling you how awesome and how beautiful you look because you're posting freaking thirst traps online. And every freaking dude who's in his basement wanking off to your photos are telling you the same thing. So this massive amount of attention, which is producing a shitload of dopamine to you, is only making your ego explode. So now you think that because you're that big, your head is this big, that the average man, where you lie, you're bigger than him, you're better than him. So that one expression that you just made disqualifies you for even seeing 70 to 80% of men. You need to change your perspective. And this is happening to a hell of a lot of you ladies. And this is why you're still single. The idea that these men are below you, they're below you. I'm looking at your photo. You're older and you literally below average in looks. All right, I would say average.
The people who are complaining, aka women, are to blame. Sorry, I have to say it. You are the reason why these stupid ass men are acting like women. They want to be treated like a princess. They want to be chased and they want to be adored and desired.
No, they don't want to be chased. Men want to chase. But unfortunately, you have created an environment where chasing is dangerous. And men ain't taking the freaking chances of losing their jobs and losing their freaking reputations. Because one wrong accusation, a guy can pull a charge. Stalking charge. I told him no. He kept coming. Okay. Boom. Stalking. That goes on his record. Men are not taking the freaking chances. That's the problem. You don't understand. Stop blaming men for the problem. You created this problem. I'm talking to you ladies. You ladies have to understand how men think. I am trying to get the information out of a man's brain into yours so that you can see it. Stop listening to other women and their bullshit when women tell you this crap. Men are not freaking princesses that are looking for you to chase. All men want are very clear, very concise approach signals. That's it. Hello, hi, smile. If you guys lock eyes, that's it. And stop thinking that you're so special that Chad and the 6'4" guy with the freaking six-pack is going to approach you. Those guys don't want to approach you for a relationship. They will pick you up online and fuck the shit out of you. That's it.
Because of you. Because you're giving up your panani for fucking a beer. A beer and a pizza. Sometimes they don't even take you out to dinner and you still give it up because of your low standard. You chase a man. If he doesn't text you, you text him. Oh, why can't we be together? Why can't you do better? Why can't you treat me right? You're giving me crumbs. Like, stop talking. Why are you telling a man how to behave? You're embarrassing. And you're teaching them that the worse they behave, the more you're going to go and reach out because you're obsessed and stupid. The more they fuck up, cheat on you and everything, you're still going to go back to them because you're rewarding bad behavior. So they do it more. That's what the women are doing.
There we go. The old beak hands. Beak hands. Beaky. Oh, God. I could hear a projection right here, man. I could hear she's just projecting her reality. This is her reality right here. And what she's telling women, because she needs to keep a lot of these women off the market, demand more from these men. The price of your panani should be higher. Charge more. Fine dining. You should be demanding fine dining, not pizza. Oh, let's listen to a little bit more what she says, because this is hilarious.
Like, we've created monsters and then we bitch and complain about it. Girls, I'm making this video not to make you feel bad, but we're all feeling the repercussions of our actions and we need to change. We need to change. So my girls, let's stand up. Let's pledge to not chase men, to stop giving your free fucking banana for nothing. and require more and say with your fucking chest, I want this. I want this. And don't engage if they want to give you crumbs. Don't hang out with them if they treat you like shit.
I wish she had said, don't give up your punani without a commitment. But she says, no, stop giving it out for free. Charge more. Bring the cost of punani up. But she's right about one thing. The price of the punani is below the freaking floor right now. It's in the basement. You can go pretty much anywhere in the world right now and blow your load right now for less than $30 US. A happy meal. And I'm not just talking about the US. I'm talking about here. I'm talking about anywhere in the world. Because women have just taken this so-called sexual liberation to a whole new level. And so women are just giving it up for no commitment whatsoever. So for the men who can get it quite easily, because he's over 6 feet, because he has some money, etc., all he's doing is just tearing it up. Part of the buffet, my friends. Part of the buffet.
Okay, this is crazy, but what if I told you the eye thing really works? So there I am. I'm out of town. I'm in Austin. And I go to a bar by myself. And I bought a drink. I sat at the bar. I positioned my body open, looking at all the people coming in. I waited till there was someone that I thought was attractive. And I was like, that's him. That's it. And I followed him as he walked in. He was at the end of the bar. He ordered drinks. And I locked in. I did not move a muscle. Locked in with those eyes. And he looked over. And he looked back. And I stayed. I stayed with it. Who cares? I don't care. I stayed. And he looked back. And then he ordered his drink. He did his thing. And then he looks back again. I locked in. And then I looked away. Next thing I know, this man is sitting right next to me, yapping it up. And he was amazing. And we had a great night. We have to use our eyes now. And why? Why am I telling you this? Because apparently men do not know how to approach anymore. Or they just won't. The rejection, the fear of rejection is so built into them now, I guess. They literally need a neon sign that says, I will not reject you. Please come over. So, I don't know. I need to test it again. But that worked wonders. And he even said later, he was like, girl, you know what you're doing. I was like, yeah, because I don't care. I know what I want.
I rest my case when it comes to free punani. Women are literally just throwing it on the men that they want. We had a great night. What do you think that means? She was out to get laid. She went to a bar. She locked eyes with a guy. More than likely, it was a 20% guy. So women, mating signals thrown out by women are only thrown out to men who she deems attractive. And what type of men gets this opportunity? The top men. So what she's telling you isn't anything new, because women will give strong mating signals to the top men. But this isn't helping relationships. This is helping hookups. I want to hear more stories from women who's saying, hey, we're going on 3 years in our relationship right now. I met him. This is how we met. We've been together 3 years. And this is the journey that we've been on. And this is what I do to keep my man. And this is what we do to actually work together to build a life. Those are the stories I want to hear. You don't hear those stories on freaking TikTok. You only hear about dating chronicles. In other words, dating, meaning hookup, temporary, one after the next. Dating chronicle number 15. Date number 34. This is all I freaking hear. Story time. I met this guy at the bar. I met this guy. Oh, I was walking down. Oh, I rejected this guy. That's all you hear. You don't hear relationship freaking stories. All you hear about is women hooking up. And this is what you women eat up amongst each other.
Hey guys, this is for 30-year-old women who are Christian and still single. I'll start by saying this. I turned 30 last year. I'm going to be 31 this fall. I have never been asked out on a date in my life, and I mean that. Never. I've never been approached by a guy. I've never had a man show interest in me. And I would never have admitted to that a couple years ago. I was ashamed and embarrassed about that. I was like, oh, it's because I'm stupid maybe, or, you know, I'm not attractive, or all these things. Like, I thought it was a deficiency in me. But I have been hearing from other women the exact same thing, especially Christian women, where it's like, you know, no one, you know, I'm 27, I'm 28, I've never been asked out. And so I think there's a problem on both sides. I think that women get blamed a lot, where people will say, you know, you whored yourself in your 20s, and, you know, you cared about your career and you did all these things to keep men away from you. And I think I never did any of that stuff. And I know a lot of other women who didn't do that stuff. And they're, you know, they're just, men aren't asking women out maybe. I don't know. I do put myself out there, and I know other women who put themselves out there. You know, we'll get all cute. We'll go to the tea shops. We're very open to having conversations with strangers. And, you know, we do a lot of things in hopes that someone will just walk up to us and say, hey, you know, here's my number or whatever. However that works, I don't know. And there's not a lot of men doing that. And I will make some more videos. I have stories and stuff I'd like to share. But anyways, I hope it's an encouragement to those who are like me, because I didn't see any videos like this a year ago, and that would have been really helpful. So that's why I'm putting this out there. Don't be embarrassed. Jesus loves you, and I don't know, maybe we can fix this, or talk about how we can fix it. Bye.
She's 30. Let's look at the reality of that. So she's a Christian. I don't know what that means, meaning she believes in Jesus Christ, great. But that does not stop men from looking at her and seeing that she's attractive, beautiful. They're going to approach her. So from age 16, 17, 18, you want to tell me she wasn't exposed to young, virile, horny young men? So unless she went to an all-girls school or homeschool, like a real traditional family, I cannot see how this woman could not be exposed up until age 30. Over 15 years of being virile and attractive, and not be approached by a man in 15 years. That is a pile of BS. Unless you're isolated in the freaking back hick waters of freaking America, where literally 90% of the men already freaking married and 5% of them are gay. I'm exaggerating, but you get my point. Because she's not unattractive. She's not ugly. She's an average looking woman. I can't see if she's overweight or not, unless she freaking was 250, 300 pounds growing up. I don't see how that is possible. In other words, her story sounds like BS.
Okay, here are some of my theories why men don't approach women in public. Okay, number one, I think they have had a super horrible, traumatic experience with like literally one woman. Like one woman really did them so dirty.
No, not one woman. What women don't understand about the male experience is that men have to go through disappointment after disappointment every single day of his life, since high school, right through his entire freaking life. Rejection. Whether it's from the basketball team, the football team, the running track, the girl who he wanted to kiss first, other men trying to get in with other male groups, etc. Men are very harsh in telling men, no, this is not for you. This isn't yours. No. So all men are used to rejection. Most women are not, because women never have to make the move, ever. This is what women just don't freaking understand. So we are accustomed to rejection. This is why women never can understand the male experience. The male approaches and he gets rejected. So any man who's gone through life, period, have been rejected a lot. So it's not just one person. So please understand that first theory. Ladies that are listening, please understand that. Men are accustomed to rejection. You all have never been rejected. Men don't turn down females. He will not give you a relationship, but he will hit it. If the woman is average looking, He will hit it. So please stop this stupidness. And if you gentlemen realize it's the same speech from every single one of these women, intimidated, scared, being hurt, etc., etc. It's all the same freaking speech because they keep listening to each other. They're not listening to men.
That traumatized them moving forward. Like, they can't even move forward because they're still so hurt from the past one experience that they're moving from a place of hurt and not from like a healed perspective. 2, men have a very sensitive ego. And they rather protect that ego from it getting bruised just a little bit, just simply by a rejection from a woman, than to actually go and pursue something. Okay, and 3rd point. Men have it way too easy now with all the dating apps and Instagram and sliding into someone's DMs. Like, why would they want to do that in public when they can just choose the easy way out and do it through social media behind a screen?
The last point, yeah, there's some validity behind that. It's easy to freaking order in food than it is to actually go out to the restaurant, sit down and say, oh, it's not on the menu, or no, it's easier to say, look, that's on the menu. I'll swipe on that one. Let me order that one in. And that's only from the men that she wants. So those men will do that. Either way, the men that she's referring to are only the men that she wants to approach her, not the average guys. So understand where I'm coming from. But in all the cases, the men that she wants, they're not intimidated by her. They're not scared. They haven't been traumatized. Men don't go through freaking trauma. The biggest and probably the only trauma that most men will go through is if his woman got pregnant by another man, right? And usually it'd have to be his wife. If he caught his woman with another man, or number 3, he went through a divorce. Those are the only 3 things that really will put a man through some real hard times. But men don't go through trauma. He go through events that makes him stronger. The expression of trauma should never be used for men, because men are built on scars. They're not built by being pampered. Women invented this word trauma. The only time men really go through a lot of trauma is if he's gone through war.
I just watched over an hour and a half of a live, a singles live, where the men and women get together to see if anybody makes a love connection. And I am watching the women in the comment section repeat the same thing. They all are saying, a lot, not all, that they are never approached by men. Don't matter how they dress, where they go. These women lived in different cities, different ages, different races, different careers, different body types, different looks. Everything is different, but they share the same story. Men are not approaching me. I have a question for the ladies. Are y'all approachable? I want y'all to stop and think about something. That in today's world, the men not only have to worry about the rejection of you saying no. They've always been afraid of rejection. But they have been brave enough to push through that fear because they want women, right? But nowadays, they have to be extra careful because they could be labeled as a stalker, thirsty, sassy. They could be labeled as somebody who's harassing me. These men are not only afraid of rejection, but now they are afraid of charges, baby, because it's hard to date out here. Men are crazy. Women are crazy. I understand why everybody got their guard up. But ladies, I ask you again, are you approachable?
But I wanted to leave it just on that one simple point. Are you approachable? So I just want to conclude and just say, listen, ladies, smile, approach men, open yourself up to men, take off the headphones, make yourself known to be approachable. When you make eye contact, you say hello. Nothing wrong with that. That's it. Eye contact, hi. Even if it's a little bow of the head and a smile, that's it. Done. You've just made yourself extremely approachable. It isn't hard. Men are not freaking difficult. If you want to solve your problem, ladies, if you want to solve the problem where you're single and you want a man, you got to do something different because what you're doing isn't getting the results that you want. I had to explain it to this lady this morning on on our chat. If you are not getting the results that you want, don't keep doing the same thing. Why would you do that? That is the complete definition of insanity. If you keep hitting your head against the wall and keep saying, I got a headache, I got a headache, I got a headache, I got a headache. Why is my head hurting? Why is my head hurting? It's hurting. At some point, you got to wake up and say, you know what? Let me try stop hitting my head on the wall and see if that works. But some of you, man, are so deep into the female rhetoric and BS. That's the wall you're hitting your head on, that it's impossible for you to stop it. It's difficult. You know, it blows my mind why critical thinking skills were never taught in American schools. Because any critical thinking class would have just turned you on to the simple fact. If you want to know how to attract a man, you ask a man, what does he find attractive? You don't go to your competitor, another woman, and ask her and get her opinion. She's competing for the same men that you want. Please understand that. Okay, my friends, I'm going to lock it off there. It was a little longer one, but I thought I just had a lot of information to get out to you guys today. Let me know what you think. Let's have a conversation in the comments section. Gentlemen, please share this video with any women that you know. Listen, I tried to include a lot of lessons for the women today because I'm really trying to let women understand that if they don't start listening to the men, you'll never win. Never. Okay? So until tomorrow, my friends, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. See you soon. Cheers.